Stephen Curry is about to make a decision that could change the entire landscape of the NBA, and nobody is ready for what might be coming. We are talking about the Golden State Warriors potentially standing at the edge of a cliff, and Stephen Curry holding the map that decides whether they jump or find another path. According to the latest reports dropping today, this week is being described as a massive, landmark week for Stephen Curry and the Warriors organization. The NBA trade rumor mill is being described as ready to ignite, and Curry is at the absolute center of it all. This is not a drill. This is not clickbait. This is one of the most significant moments in Warriors history, potentially unfolding in real time, right now in front of all of us. So what exactly is happening? Reports indicate that Stephen Curry could be on the verge of making a major decision about his future. The word coming out is that this week could be the week where things get defined. Are we talking about a commitment to stay and rebuild with Golden State? Are we talking about something more seismic, something that shakes the entire league? The language being used in these reports is deliberate and loaded. A big week. A major decision. Those are not casual phrases thrown around about a guy who just decides to change his pregame meal. These are phrases that signal something fundamental is about to shift. And with trade speculation already swirling around his name, every single Warriors fan needs to be locked in and paying attention. Here is where the drama gets real. The Warriors have been working hard behind the scenes. General Manager Mike Dunleavy Jr. has been publicly stating that the team is aggressively pursuing improvements to the roster. They missed out on their pursuit of LeBron James, which stings by itself. And now there is a separate report saying the Warriors may still have a path to landing Anthony Davis, but only under one very specific condition. That condition has not been fully spelled out yet, but the fact that Davis is being linked to Golden State while Curry is simultaneously being linked to potential trades tells you everything you need to know about the tension inside that organization right now. The Warriors are at a crossroads. Every move matters. Every conversation matters. And Curry is sitting at the center of all of it. The impact on the Warriors from all of this uncertainty is enormous. When your franchise cornerstone, your four-time champion, your all-time three-point king is described as being at a decision point, it affects everything. Free agents are watching. Potential trade partners are watching. The entire league is watching. If Curry decides to stay and the Warriors build around him aggressively, this team could flip the script fast. But if the decision goes another way, we are talking about the beginning of a completely new era in Golden State. Either outcome reshapes the Western Conference. Either outcome reshapes what the Warriors look like for the next decade. And the clock is ticking because this week, according to those reports, is the week everything could change. Stay close to this story because we are going to be covering every development as it breaks. This one is as big as it gets. TYP&T comments right now, do you think Stephen Curry stays in Golden State or do you think he leaves? Two options only, stays or leaves. Drop it below right now. A proposed blockbuster trade has been making the rounds today, and it is one of those deals that makes you stop whatever you are doing and just stare at your screen for a second. Multiple reports published in the last 24 hours are laying out a scenario where the Golden State Warriors trade Stephen Curry to the Charlotte Hornets, and in return, they receive a quartet of veterans valued at a combined $289 million. $289 million worth of players coming back to Golden State for the face of the franchise. That number alone tells you how seriously people around the league are thinking about this possibility. This is not a minor reshuffling of the deck. This is a full rebuild trigger being pulled by one of the most storied franchises in modern NBA history. Let us get into the details of why this trade concept is getting so much traction right now. The Warriors have been unable to significantly improve their roster around Stephen Curry. The team has been working hard, but the results have not matched the effort. Dunleavy has been vocal about the team's aggressive approach, yet the moves have not come together the way the organization hoped. Meanwhile, Charlotte has been a franchise searching for an identity, searching for a cornerstone, searching for that moment where they become relevant on a national level. Stephen Curry playing in Charlotte, the city where he grew up, where he went to college, where his legend first began to take shape. That is a story the entire NBA world would be talking about from day one. The basketball narrative practically writes itself. Now here is the twist that makes this whole thing so explosive. The reported return package for the Warriors being described as a $289 million veteran quartet sounds impressive on paper. But think about what that actually means for Golden State. You are not getting one dominant player back. You are getting four players who collectively carry that value, which means you are getting pieces rather than a centerpiece. The Warriors would essentially be trading their greatest player for a collection of parts, betting that those parts, combined with younger assets or future picks presumably included in the deal, can form the foundation of something new. That is a gigantic gamble, and it is the kind of gamble that either makes a front office look visionary in 3 years or gets them roasted forever. For the Warriors, the impact of this trade, if it ever happened, would be total and complete transformation. Everything the franchise has been since 2015, every banner, every MVP trophy, every parade down Market Street, all of that becomes the past chapter and a new book gets opened. The Chase Center would have a new identity. The fan base would be processing something they never fully believed was possible. But there is also an argument that getting $289 million worth of veteran talent back gives the Warriors real NBA-ready pieces to build with rather than tanking into the lottery for years. The question is whether Warriors fans and ownership have the stomach for that kind of reset. Based on everything we are seeing reported today, that conversation is very much alive and very much serious. Hit that subscribe button right now because we are covering every single Warriors development as it drops and you do not want to miss a thing. Stay right here because the next story we are about to get into is something that involves the Warriors and a player that could seriously change what this team looks like. You are going to want to hear this one. Alright, so we have been talking about Stephen Curry's future. We have been talking about blockbuster trade scenarios, but now let us zoom into something that is just as critical for the Warriors going forward. Reports coming out today indicate that the Golden State Warriors may still have a legitimate path to landing Anthony Davis. That sentence right there should have every Warriors fan sitting up straight in their chair. Anthony Davis, one of the most physically dominant players in the entire NBA, a guy who can protect the rim, punish defenders in the post, and completely alter the defensive complexion of any team he plays for. The Warriors may still have a shot at him, but there is a catch, and that catch is what makes this story so fascinating and so complicated at the same time. Here is what we know based on the reporting. General Manager Mike Dunleavy Jr. has been explicit about the fact that the Warriors are aggressively working to improve this roster. The team came up empty in their chase for LeBron James, which was a significant swing and miss for an organization that clearly wants to compete at the highest level right now. So the question becomes, what is the next major move? And apparently Anthony Davis is still on the radar. But there is one specific condition that has to be met for that pursuit to have any real chance of succeeding. The report does not lay out exactly what that condition is, but the fact that it is being flagged as a singular pivotal requirement tells you it is substantial. This is not a small asterisk. This is a defining factor. The drama here comes from the timing and the context. Think about where the Warriors are right now. They have Stephen Curry at the center of a major decision about his future. They have a blockbuster trade to Charlotte being floated publicly. And now they have this parallel conversation about potentially adding Anthony Davis. These are not small storylines running alongside each other. They are massive, interconnected threads that could pull in completely different directions, depending on how the next few weeks play out. If the Warriors land Davis and keep Curry, you are looking at one of the most dangerous duos in the Western Conference instantly. If they pursue Davis but Curry ends up leaving, then Davis becomes the new face of a transitional Warriors team. Every scenario here is dramatic and every scenario has enormous consequences. For the Warriors organization specifically, the Anthony Davis possibility represents exactly the kind of high-ceiling gamble that championship contending teams have to be willing to take. Davis, when healthy, is a top 5 player in the NBA. There is very little debate about that. His combination of size, skill, and defensive impact is genuinely elite. Adding that to whatever core the Warriors have around Curry, or potentially around a new nucleus if Curry moves on, gives this team an immediate credibility boost in the Western Conference. The conference is loaded right now. You cannot show up with a patchwork roster and expect to compete. You need star power. You need rim protection. You need someone who changes the math on both ends of the floor. Anthony Davis checks every single one of those boxes. The one condition that has to be met is the key, and when that information comes out fully, it is going to be the most important Warriors news of the week. We will be right here covering it. Let us talk about something that adds another layer to this already chaotic Warriors off-season picture. Reports today are pointing to a 7-year NBA veteran, a former Los Angeles Lakers guard, as an ideal free agency target for the Golden State Warriors next season. Now, on the surface, that might sound like a secondary story compared to everything else swirling around this franchise right now. But pump the brakes for a second, because the reasoning behind this proposal actually makes a lot of sense when you think about what the Warriors need, what their gaps are, and what kind of player fits the culture and the system that Golden State has always tried to maintain. So what kind of player are we talking about? A former Lakers guard with 7 years of NBA experience. That profile suggests someone who has been around winning environments, someone who understands what it takes to compete in the Western Conference, and someone who presumably carries a level of shooting or playmaking ability that made him attractive to a franchise like the Lakers at some point in his career. For the Warriors, fit has always been everything. This is not a team that can just plug anybody into the lineup and expect production. The system demands shooters. The system demands intelligent off-ball movers. The system demands defenders who understand rotations and trust their teammates. A veteran with 7 years of experience fitting those criteria is exactly the kind of addition that does not make headlines the way a superstar trade does, but quietly makes a team 10% better every single night. Here is where the debate gets spicy. There is a real argument to be made that the Warriors have sometimes gotten too caught up in chasing the massive splash move and have undervalued the steady veteran additions that keep a team functioning at a high level through the grind of an 82-game season and into the playoffs. Every great Warriors team had that mix. They had the stars, absolutely, but they also had the experienced role players who showed up every night and did the specific job required of them without complaint and without confusion. A 7-year vet who knows the league, knows his role, and fits the system could be exactly the kind of piece that bridges whatever transition this Warriors roster is going through right now. The impact for the Warriors is real even if it feels modest next to the Davis and Curry headlines. Roster construction is about layers. You cannot build a contender with just 1 or 2 big names. You need depth. You need players who keep the engine running when the stars have an off night or when the injury bug hits. And the Warriors have learned that lesson the hard way over the years. Adding a reliable, experienced, shooting-minded guard from outside the organization could give Dunleavy Jr. exactly the kind of stabilizing piece that makes all the other moves click together more effectively. This is the kind of signing that fans sometimes sleep on, but coaches absolutely love because it gives them options, and options win basketball games in the fourth quarter when everything tightens up and every possession matters. DRPMT comments right now, do you think the Warriors should be prioritizing a blockbuster move for a star or building smart with experienced veterans? Let us hear your take, drop it below. We are closing things out today with a story that loops everything together and brings the full picture of this Warriors offseason into sharp focus, because when you step back and look at all of it at once, you start to realize just how pivotal the next few weeks are going to be for this franchise. The Stephen Curry decision, the Anthony Davis pursuit, the Charlotte trade speculation, the veteran free agency targeting, all of it is happening simultaneously, and it is all connected by one central question. What do the Golden State Warriors want to be, and who do they want to be it with? The Charlotte Hornets trade rumor specifically deserves one more hard look because it represents the most dramatic possible outcome of everything that is currently in motion. The reported framework involves Curry heading to Charlotte and the Warriors receiving that $289 million veteran quartet in return. But let us think about this from a pure roster building standpoint, because that is where the real debate lies. If Golden State takes back 4 veterans worth a combined $289 million, the immediate question is salary cap flexibility. Does that return package give the Warriors room to maneuver further? Does it open up the ability to go after someone like Anthony Davis more aggressively? Or does it create a new kind of cap crunch that limits what Dunleavy Jr. can actually do in the market? Those are the questions that determine whether this trade makes the Warriors better or just different. Now here is the twist that makes this rumor particularly fascinating from a league-wide perspective. Charlotte getting Stephen Curry is not just a basketball move. It is a cultural and marketing earthquake for that franchise. Curry grew up in Charlotte. His name is embedded in that city's basketball identity in a way that goes beyond statistics or championships. If he ends up there, the Hornets immediately become one of the most talked about teams in the entire league. Ticket sales, merchandise, national television appearances, all of it spikes overnight. That is real value for an NBA franchise that has been searching for relevance. And for the league itself, having Curry in a smaller market that desperately needs a star is genuinely good for business. So there are forces beyond just basketball pushing this conversation forward. For the Warriors, this trade rumor represents the ultimate fork in the road. Down one path, you have a rebuild built on veteran pieces and the hope that a new core can compete faster than a traditional tank and draft approach. Down the other path, you have doubling down on Curry, finding a way to add Davis or another elite talent, and making one final aggressive push for a championship window before time genuinely runs out. Neither path is obviously correct. Neither path comes without serious risk. But the Warriors have to choose, and based on everything being reported today, that choice is coming sooner than most people expected. The rumor mill is spinning fast. The decision point is this week according to the reports, and when that call gets made, the entire NBA landscape shifts. We will be right here the moment anything breaks, so make sure you are locked in with us, because this is the biggest Warriors story of the year, and it is just getting started. Now tap the video on the LFT and the video on the right GHT, because we have 2 more drops you absolutely cannot miss today, and trust me, you are going to want to watch both of them back to back. Quick recap of everything we covered today. Stephen Curry is at a massive decision point that could reshape the entire Warriors franchise this week. A blockbuster trade sending Curry to Charlotte for a $2 to $89 million veteran quartet is being seriously discussed. The Warriors may still have a path to landing Anthony Davis under one key condition. A 7-year veteran former Lakers guard has been proposed as an ideal free agency target for Golden State, and the full trade picture surrounding Curry and the Hornets could trigger a complete new era for this team. That is 5 bombs in one video. Warriors today, we will see you in the next one. Let us go!